Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices is made possible in part by CIBC.
Good evening y feliz año nuevo. Bienvenidos to the first Chicago Tonight Latino Voices of 2021. I'm Hugo Balta, WTTW News Director and your host. We've got quite the show for you tonight. We'll find out why some Latino Chicago public school families say language barriers are creating tech problems for their children. Brandis Friedman has a one-on-one with Dr. Marina de Rios, the first person in Chicago to be vaccinated against COVID-19. This week, she received the second dose. Interest in houseplants has blossomed during the pandemic. We'll look at the cultural ties many Latinos have to caring for houseplants.
If no one's going to bring it to us, we need to bring it to our neighborhood.
And arts correspondent Angel Ido on how Chicagoans are being encouraged to support local artists of color in a virtual bodega. But first off tonight, since Chicago public schools were shuttered for in-school learning last spring, the move to remote learning has been a struggle for many families. And for the CPS families whose home language is Spanish, there's been an additional barrier. In a December article for Borderless magazine, Chicago reporter Amaris Rodriguez spoke with families who say CPS has not done enough to get their children ready for online learning, nor have they done enough to help the Spanish-speaking teachers who have taken on tech support for those families. And joining us now to talk about her article is freelance reporter and general assignment reporter for Journal and Topics newspaper, Amaris Rodriguez. Amaris, nearly half of CPS students are Latino. About how many families are affected by this issue, and how have they been figuring things out?
I think that a lot of families that are Hispanic, and especially in primarily Spanish-speaking households, have been affected by e-learning and the lack of support that was given, especially in managing technology. And from talking to teachers and from talking to families, it seems that families that had younger students were the ones that had the hardest time. The best example from the article for Borderless magazine that we were able to get was from Nidia Carranza, who is a teacher, and having to actually go to a student's house, stand outside in the cold with a newborn baby waiting in the car and trying to offer support and walk through steps to families is something that a lot of teachers have had to deal with. Families have had to try to navigate and find help on their own, whether it's contacting tech support and being sent to someone else, whether it's having to try and learn it themselves or use a translator. It's definitely something that has affected a lot of Spanish-speaking families.
Now, CPS did offer some resources for Spanish-speaking families, but these families say it wasn't enough. What more do they think CPS should have done?
CPS did a good job, as a lot of their students are Spanish speaking. So there was definitely a knowledge that the information that they had to be put out in various languages, not just Spanish. I think that what happened was that there wasn't enough consideration into the technology generational gap that a lot of Hispanic families experience, especially first generation. So the lack of support and the lack of teaching older parents how to navigate the technology is what kind of caused that step back and what hindered the students' abilities in order to log into e-learning, to complete their assignments, to check their grades. That seemed to be where the parents were having the largest struggle.
In your article, teacher Nidia Carranza expressed her wishes for more teachers of color like herself to address these types of issues. Based on your reporting, does CPS have a diversity problem?
I do believe that CPS has a diversity problem from talking to the teachers and talking to the parents. I think that what was the issue was just that there was a plan, but the execution behind it was not there. CPS has a lot of teachers of color. They have a lot of bilingual teachers, which is something another of the teachers who's in the Kidway talked about a lot. They have a strong bilingual program, but the teachers were not offered the support to be able to provide their services to families.
Another problem you report is CPS directing families to individual schools and teachers for tech support. How much of a burden does this present for the teachers you spoke with?
It presents a big burden for the teachers that we spoke with. Teachers are having to navigate this world of e-learning, having to try to switch their courses and their teaching schedules to a way that would be able to actually be doable for students and to meet them where they are. So having to add tech help to their support, to the support that they offer students, is definitely adding, it's taking away time that they can dedicate to try and help students navigate this. So, like an example that we have already gave was Garanza, who had to go outside and talk to a family. There's been multiple phone calls. Parents are trying to get a hold of teachers. Parents are trying to have teachers be able to do something as simple as teach them how to log into email. So having teachers take on that additional role on top of always having to be on, they don't really get a break from it. It's constant classes. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. You met with a CPS student, Estrella Figueroa, who's juggling many responsibilities to keep herself and her siblings afloat at school. Can you tell us a little bit about her story?
Estrella's story is very powerful, and I think it speaks a lot to what a lot of first generation young students are going through, especially right now with e-learning. So her story is that she is the oldest, she's the second oldest, and she has a lot of younger siblings that she is responsible for not only her e-learning as well as theirs. So it's managing her schoolwork, making sure her siblings are logged in, and then on top of that, during her break, after school hours, she goes and she helps her mom at her job, which is a fruit stand. So it's a 14-year-old trying to navigate a lot of different things that kids are just not prepared for.
A lot of challenges that students, families, teachers are going to have to iron out as we now are entering the second half of the school year. Amaris Rodriguez, thank you very much for your time and for your insights.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Now we go to Brandis Friedman, and one of the first local doctors to get both doses of the COVID vaccine, in a conversation recorded earlier.
Dr. Marina Del Rios, an emergency room doctor at the University of Illinois Hospital, was the very first person in Chicago to get vaccinated against COVID-19. And then on Tuesday, she got her second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Dr. Marina Del Rios joins us now to talk about her experience with the vaccine and of being an ER doctor amid this pandemic. Dr. Del Rios, thank you for joining us on Chicago Tonight. First, if you would, tell me a bit about your experience, over these last 10 months or so of being an emergency room doctor really on the very front line of this pandemic. What's that been like?
It's been the most stressful year that I've had in my career. It's very different when you're dealing with heart attacks and traumas, and you know that while it's very sad to see patients in those situations, you yourself may not be at risk, but that added risk of constantly feeling like taking care of patients is also a threat to my own well-being, to my coworkers, and also to any family members that might be taking care of these folks too. That's an added layer of stress that is very hard to deal with.
We've seen cases surging across the country since Thanksgiving. How would you describe the situation at your hospital right now? Are you noticing an increase in cases as well?
We saw a surge not immediately after, but a couple weeks after Thanksgiving. And then the numbers started to drop a bit. We're starting to see a little bit of a climb, and I'm expecting that we'll probably see another peak in another week or two, which would be 2 weeks post the most recent holidays.
Illinois Department of Public Health Director Dr. Ngozi Ezike on Wednesday, she again talked about the disproportional impact of the virus on Black and brown communities and the need to make vaccines available to them. Here's a little bit of what she said about the state's vaccine outreach.
Our outreach extends to all populations in Illinois, Black populations, white, Latinx, Asian, immigrants, all groups, including individuals that are undocumented. And undocumented individuals will not be turned away when they present for vaccination.
And Dr. Del Rios, you and I know that Black and Latinx communities historically have been skeptical and even mistrustful of medical officials, but you volunteered to be vaccinated early, and in fact, you were the very first person in the city of Chicago to receive the vaccine. As a Latina doctor, how important was it for you to get this vaccine to show so that other members of the Latinx and Black communities could see you?
Look, I think that people model the behavior that they observe. And so if I'm going to ask my patients to get vaccinated, I think it's very important that they see that I myself am okay with getting vaccinated, that I feel safe, and that I feel that this is an effective vaccine. So I think that one of the biggest ways of convincing people to adopt a behavior is by adopting it yourself. And so that's why I've decided that I'm not only happy to be one of the first recipients, but I will also be a vocal advocate for our communities.
And what do you say to those folks who have concerns and mistrust for the medical community?
I think that it's really important that we don't judge people's mistrust and that we listen and that we ask questions and give them opportunity to ask as many questions as they need to come up with the best decision for themselves. I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there that medical providers and trusted sources have to address and make sure that the narrative that's out there is changed. And with vaccines, I think there's been a lot of, mixed messaging regarding how quickly the vaccine would be developed, for example, and also what kind of side effects people might have after the vaccine. And so it's really our responsibility to ensure that the correct information is going to people. And so, I've told people, given them my social media accounts, I've told my own family members, feel free to share my posts, because again, I think the only way to convince other people is to give them the opportunity to ask questions and to have the information at hand so that they can make the decision themselves.
Have you experienced any side effects? You've received both shots now.
Yeah, well, the first shot was pretty uneventful. I had a little bit of soreness on my arm the day after, and then that was gone. This time, the soreness was there, but yesterday evening, which was about 24 hours post my shot, or maybe closer to 30 hours, I started feeling a little achy, sort of like when you are starting to get the flu, but nothing that I couldn't manage with a dose of ibuprofen and a good night's rest. And by today, I feel back to normal.
Now, we've heard and we've read stories of some of your colleagues, though, who are resistant to getting the vaccine. Obviously, it sounds like you didn't have any reservations, but as a professional in the industry, what kind of reservations might someone have?
Well, even within the medical community, there are a lot of questions that have come up regarding how quickly this vaccine was developed. And so I think it's understandable. The initial message was, we won't have an efficacious vaccine for another year and a half. And here we are, 6 months after some of these studies, or 9 months after the studies were started. Now we have what looks like an effective vaccine and that it's safe. So I've been trying to battle those conversations on a one-on-one basis in my department. And I'm glad to report to see and say that some people I've been able to convince, and even one of our custodial workers approached me and said, you know what, I heard you on TV. I'm so proud of you. And I've signed up to get my shot. And with others, I just told them, just ask me questions, ask other people in our department in our institution who've gotten the shot, and ask them how they feel and what they think. And I don't know that we'll convince 100% of people, but hopefully a good enough proportion of people that our whole population will be protected.
Dr. Marina Del Rios, thanks for the work that you do, and thank you for joining us on Chicago Tonight.
My pleasure.
And Ugo is back with more Chicago Tonight Latino Voices right after this.
Don't miss one of our stories. Get them all delivered to your desktop or mobile device with a subscription to the WTTW News Daily Briefing. Go to WTTW.com/Daily Briefing and sign up.
For many Latinos, a home doesn't feel like a home without an aloe plant on a windowsill or a pothos plant twining its vines through la sala. I recently visited with a local Latino-owned plant shop to talk about how interest in keeping houseplants has blossomed during the pandemic.
Well, this is my favorite one.
For Hilario Dominguez, his lush and leafy collection of more than 120 tropical plants elicits memories of his childhood home in Pilsen.
My mom and my dad are both Mexican, so culturally, plants and gardening has just been a thing in my life. You know, I remember my mom singing and talking to her plants. I mean, to this day, she still does that. Calling them each a different name.
He says spending more time at home due to the pandemic inspired him to create this oasis of greenery, a process he describes as healing.
Oftentimes it starts really here, right? You have to address it with yourself. Like, are you being impatient and projecting that onto a plant, right? And it sounds silly, but there's just so much to learn about oneself and taking care of something else, especially a living thing, in particular plants.
In addition to using tech to help track his plant's growth, Dominguez says he relies on the advice he gets from Plant Shop Chicago to care for his collection. Like Dominguez, Plant Shop Chicago co-owners Ozzy Gamez and Juan Quesada say they too feel a cultural connection to keeping houseplants.
I grew up in Belize and plants were always around me, but it wasn't something that I paid attention to. You know, if I went back now, I think I'd be amazed what I grew up next to without knowing.
Since we've opened, I think monsteras have always been very popular. Birds of paradise, both which are tropical plants, and then probably aloes. In the Mexican culture, and probably just the Latinos in general, it's used for a lot of things. I know people ingest it, like putting it in their smoothies, which is supposed to be like a digestive. Also for like cuts, bruises, any type of skincare.
As Chicagoans prepare to spend more time at home this winter, Gamez and Quesada are using their connections, both cultural and virtual, to seed interest in houseplants all over the city. Your shop has had to, like so many other small businesses, pivot in order to accommodate patrons, in order to really stay afloat. What can you share with us in regards to what you've done in these last couple of months in order to keep your business not only surviving but thriving?
At the beginning, everything's closing down. We have to close down, and the idea of just moving all of that online and doing it virtually came about. At the time, we were one of the few people to offer our plants online locally and deliver them as well, and offer curbside pickup, very much like a restaurant would do. We were both service industry before this, so we took some ideas from that, and it kind of just took off from there. So now there's people shopping with us that maybe didn't have the chance to before, because either maybe they live across the city, they don't drive.
And Quesada says the change in operations has given Plant Shop Chicago a distinctive presence as an independent business.
There was more than people just going to Home Depot or any big box store and just buying a plant. There was a community where people were into certain plants, kind of like anything else. There's a lot more people like you, so we kind of want to build a community.
Back at Hilario Dominguez's home, he offers his own advice for those looking to join that community.
Do it. Start somewhere. Enjoy it and enjoy the process. It's really a journey. The most beautiful thing is the amount that you learn about you as you're taking care of plants.
I'm happy to say I joined the plant parent community recently. I bought a cactus home last night, and so far so good from my little Espinita. And now to Brandis Friedman for a look at what's on tap for tomorrow.
Ugo, our first show of the new year includes a look at getting the COVID vaccines to the communities that need it most, the law enforcement response of last week's insurrection at the Capitol compared to Black Lives Matter protests, some CPS students return to schools on Monday, and a gift in the last word. That's tomorrow night at 6 on Chicago Tonight Black Voices. Now, Ugo, back to you.
Thanks, Brandis. Organizing a few community events inspired Chicagoans Brianna Ramirez and Marisa Diaz Arce to create Lolita Productions, an organization dedicated to creating platforms and opportunities for artists of color. Last year, they turned a local park into their biggest platform yet and created Lolita's Bodega. Arts correspondent Angel Edu joins us now to tell us more about how this one-of-a-kind shopping experience is helping Chicagoans invest in local artists. Angel?
That's right, Ugo. Now, through their platform, Lolita Productions, they've been able to help more than 150 artists. I was able to sit down with a few of them who say they would not be the artists they were today if it was not for their support. Named after Puerto Rican activist Lolita Lebron, Lolita Productions took over Humboldt Park earlier this year to turn it into a bodega, which is a blend between a community grocery store and farmers market. There, primarily Latino artists, vendors, and small business owners were encouraged to showcase their work.
If we're not making our own, and if we're not supporting our own, then no one's gonna support us. Yeah. You know, you have to go out there and do it yourself.
Held for a few hours on a weekend afternoon, co-founders Brianna and Marissa say by their third event, artists had collectively made over $22,000.
The farmers markets that I've been to, it's been a nice vibe, but it's more about getting to sell something. Whereas when you come to a bodega, you're hanging out. Like, someone might offer you a drink. There's gonna be food, like, it's a good time.
It's not just a place to come in and spend money. It really is about, to Brianna's point, about community, where we all come together, because we would not be able to do what we do if it wasn't for the people who believed in our capabilities.
When COVID numbers began to rise again in the fall, the bodegas turned virtual. But artists involved say that hasn't hindered the community the artists have created in the slightest.
I don't think my art would be at the level it's at without them, because they basically made me challenge myself, because I wanted to show out for them. Like, you know, they were taking a chance by putting me in one of their events, and I was like, I'm not gonna make them regret it. So, and I feel like they do that with so many other local artists, and there's just so many stories to tell out there, and they're really giving people that platform to do it.
The virtual bodega offers PDFs with links taking customers directly to works of newer artists like Cookie Kwan, whose use of neon colors and detailed lines takes her characters throughout different universes.
They make me feel seen, and that's really important, especially for artists, especially starting out.
Or artists like Sosa, who thought her art could be more impactful than the work she'd originally planned to do as a doctor.
If I were to create something that has all of me in it, and you can relate to that, and it's healing for you, then that piece is gonna be with you forever, and a part of me is gonna be with you forever. And maybe you can help someone understand your life and your situation through that piece that I created. So it's kind of just it creates like a web of connection and community, however far you are away from them.
Art educator and artist Brenda Torres Figueroa agrees and says art is not only a way to connect, but to understand. One of her many mediums includes hand-sewn wearable art using fabrics from as far as West Africa.
We are cultural producers, right? We are building culture in many different ways by reflecting on the world around us. This is important not only for us being visible and feeling represented and feeling this and that, but also as part of the process of building a space together and leaving our legacy behind.
We believe that the work that they have to offer, whether it be art, whether it be food, fashion, that the world deserves to see it, and no one else is shining a light on our people. So we need to be those people that shine light upon each other.
Now, the next production for Lolita's Productions is expected to be this March when they resume Lolita's Bodega in Humboldt Park.
Now, Angel, you know I'm from the East Coast, and I'd argue what we saw there wasn't exactly a bodega.
Yeah, you're right, and I think in the Midwest we call bodegas corner stores, and I think what we saw in Lolita's Bodega really resembled a farmer's market, but I think similarly to a bodega, they embodied that same sense of supporting their community, which is, as we saw, kept the artists coming back bodega after bodega.
Yeah, and the most important thing right now is to support one another. Now, you mentioned the bodegas are going to come back in March, but are there any events in the meantime that the community can participate in?
So they are just trying to be cautious because of COVID, so they are primarily supporting their artists virtually right now, but they are planning for some art and music events also for the community in the spring.
That's great. Once again, art, building bridges, between communities and, of course, supporting in this time of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Angel.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this Saturday night. Be sure to check out our website, WTTW.com/news, for the very latest from WTTW News, including special coverage on the state's COVID-19 vaccine rollout. And of course, join Brandis Friedman tomorrow night for Chicago Tonight Black Voices. Now, for all of us here at Chicago Tonight Latino Voices, I'm Hugo Balta. Thank you for sharing part of your weekend with us. Stay informed, stay healthy, stay safe. Muy buenas noches.
Closed captioning is made possible by Robert A. Clifford and Clifford Law Offices, a Chicago personal injury and wrongful death firm, sponsoring a free continuing legal education program for over a decade for lawyers across the state.